This is the show that we've all waited all year for. It is the People's Draft, the day that you, the fans, get to make all 32 first round picks for your teams. Michael, come on out and let's get the party started.
How are you, Jeffrey? Good to see you
I
again.
am outstanding. And it's amazing. It's been 1 year since we had the first People's Draft, the second People's Draft, backed by popular demand, and you have been working like, I can't say even overtime, like double overtime to get this done, man. What an accomplishment.
Well, here it's not done yet, so don't we haven't got all the picks in yet. Look, it's going to be good crack. It's going to be good fun. Like man, people are excited for this tonight. Like Barlissimo, coach.
Barlissimo's in here. Got the coach. He's ready.
It's
Owen Thomas, it's People's Draft, baby. You got it, Owen.
And Barlissimo saying he may as well log off as he's a Bears fan. So the slander's already started. Your battery's how full tonight, Jeff?
I got about 3/4 of battery here. This computer is wacky. It's nuts, but we got to, we'll get it going. I think what's amazing today is going to be what the fans think. There's been so much talk about this draft being the most unpredictable draft in recent memory. Is there really a first-round quarterback in this draft? The depth that you have at offensive tackle and at wide receiver and at edge rusher on defense. If you're looking for those, you should have a great draft. But there's depth throughout this draft, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out and if the fans that are going to make the picks will stay to the script or if we get some wildness today. I'm predicting wildness. I don't know about you.
32 picks, not 32 teams because those teams have multiple picks, but 32 picks. Some really interesting picks, which I can't wait to see your face in the wee while, Jeff. Like, there's some picks that are really, really well detailed. There's guys talking for a minute and a half, so let's just get underway while I load this video up. One of my friends is going to declare the
now.
draft.
Don't shortchange it like that. Now Colm is one of your partners on the Irish NFL show.
He is, and he's got no draft pick to make, so he's just he's bored.
Huge NFL fan, so we gave him the honor of opening the second annual People's Draft. So, Colm, hit it.
The wait is almost over. After months and months, hours and hours of watching tape, assessing needs, checking schematics, it is the first round of the draft. My team, we don't have to worry about it. After 6 years of some of the most horrific quarterback play the National Football League has ever witnessed, the Broncos traded away their first round pick for a franchise QB in Russell Wilson. So tonight, I just get to sit back, relax, sip on a cold one, and watch the drama unfold. The People's Draft is open. The Jaguars are on the clock. Come on,
I'm telling you, it's off to a rousing start. Outstanding by Colm. And so Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. Spirit Evangelist says JETS, Jets got the picks. It's going to be interesting to see. John Bradley, who's a big Jets fan, is in. So it's hot right now. Picking for the Jags.
There's a lot of comments here, Jeff. A lot of comments. Michael Brown's waiting to see the Ravens doing the draft, or if Ben is in packed pick. Yeah, Ben's making the pick. Barlissimo, this last comment. Are the Jets fans in the chat going to boo their pick regardless? Okay, Jeff, who should the Jags take at 1? They've got the first pick.
There's so much speculation about this. Do you go with Aiden Hutchinson, who is probably the cleanest pick in the draft, and to give yourself another edge rusher opposite Josh Allen, or do you go with an offensive tackle? And there are a couple really, really good ones. I love Evan Neal from Alabama. That could be a cornerstone of that offensive line for the next 10 years, and you're protecting that young quarterback and Trevor Lawrence, who you think so much of. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Jags fans take this. Or do they go wild card and they say, nope, let's get a great receiver in here and let's load up on offense around Trevor Lawrence. So let's see what the Jags are up to.
Scoured the UK, Ireland, and Europe for the Jaguars fans. Jacksonville, here's your pick.
Hi, I'm Stevie at Irish Jaguar on Twitter, and with the first pick of the 2022 People's Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end, Michigan.
There you go, Aiden Hutchinson, 6'7". Again, one of the cleanest prospects in the draft. Great character, great leadership. Will bring some energy to the Jaguars on defense. And again, paired up with Josh Allen now, Jacksonville is poised to have two outstanding edge rushers, which everybody in the NFL is looking for right now.
Big thanks to Stevie for the pick. Big Jaguars fan from Ireland, Jeff. There you go. The flag and everything there, I was going to say. Don't worry, we'll get people on from the UK very soon. With two Irish people kicking off the show. Yeah, look, I can't see him not going at 1 on Thursday. If he doesn't go at 1 on Thursday night, I genuinely think people are going to be shocked, Jeff.
Well, you know what? I kind of feel a little different in that. I think that, Trent Baalke's history has been that he loves guys that are measurable guys, freak guys, the guys that have off the chart, measurables. And that's not Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, while he's 6'7" and can run, he's a little bit stiff. He's a little short armed. There, he doesn't fit all of the profiles. There are some outstanding testers in this class that didn't play as well as they tested at the combine, and that's always kind of been Trent Baalke's way. But again, when you look at Aiden Hutchinson's senior year and how he impacted the game all year, you got to say the guy is, I think, a real smart and safe choice by Jacksonville.
Big shout out to Fred Berlissimo. Fred is not making the Cowboys pick. I only thought about this early on. Surely Fred can make the Cowboys pick next year, Fred, okay? Colin saying, love the shirt, Jeff. Had to pay how much of the OG with my own to open the draft. There you go.
I was digging your shirt too, Colin. Hey, we are going straight Aloha shirts while we're in Vegas for the draft. We're going to set a new style, a new trend.
You're literally going to Vegas after the show, yeah? That's the plan.
I'm going to fly tonight to Vegas. So, again, we'll be in Vegas tomorrow morning at 7:05. I'll be at the pool at the draft headquarters. And,
Bellagio.
Yeah, we'll be at the Bellagio. At the pool at the Bellagio.
There's one team that's going to be at the Bellagio on Thursday night. Number 2 pick, Detroit Lions. Here is the pick, Jeffrey, for the
Lions. You are on the clock.
Hello there. Thank you for letting us make this pick in this People's Community Draft. My name is Ryan McCluskey. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, and I'm making the pick on behalf of Roaring Lions UK and EU's largest growing blog and podcast. With the second overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Lions select Kayvon Thibodeau, the edge rusher from the University of Oregon. His explosive bull rush is exactly what we need to give a bit of juice to our pass rush that's been stagnant for a few years. Number 3, next on the clock. Thank you.
All right. Now, this is a shocker. This one would really surprise me. Is he got the ability to be the second pick in the draft? Absolutely. But here's the question. Can you marry Dan Campbell with a guy who his love of football has been questioned, right? That's going to be the interesting one. I like the pick in terms of what that guy can do for you, right? And the Lions need a bunch of help on defense, but wow, that would be a shocker if they went with Thibodeau. Again, Owen Thomas says no Hawaiian shirt in Vegas.
This is definitely the best show of the year. Definitely the best show of the year, like 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting bombarded with people calling in. But again, you understand what I'm saying about Thibodeau? It's not that I don't like
Jeff. There's no pass rusher in this draft that has Thibodeau's blend of like his size, his quickness, and he's a weapon. Like he could literally transform that Lions team. But there's a big shout out to Roar the Lions, Jeff. They want you to come on their show. Publicly calling you out here now.
As a kid who my first favorite football team was the Detroit Lions. I've always got a soft spot for that team. Plus the fact that the color of blue that they use is known as Honolulu blue. So I got to be on that show.
I'm learning lots of stuff tonight. The next pick is the Houston Texans, who literally need everybody and another person as well.
So all right, so now let's talk about that. If you are the Texans, right? Now, do you trade this pick down for more picks? Because this is a draft that'll get you good players in the second, third, and fourth rounds. But the Texans have a lot of picks. I think they've got 11 picks, Mike, in this draft. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. They need offensive linemen. They need pass rushers. They need, basically, you're right. They need about everything.
Now, Jeff, people can hear our reaction when the video is on, okay? This next guy has recorded a special intro, and we'll talk about him in a wee minute. This is probably the biggest Texans fan in Europe, never mind the UK.
Woo!
Love the bar, Jeff.
I love it. This is, now we're talking. I don't think I've ever seen done.
Do you reckon he watches the games in there, yeah?
A few of them, I suppose. Wow. That's good. Look at this.
Where do you see the next thing, Jeff?
I love it. I love it. My man is one.
Wait for it. Look.
Oh, man.
Hi, I'm Graham
Oh,
Henderson, aka the Kilter Texan. I'm a Houston Texans fan. You can also find me on Twitter at the one handle, or also at Texans UK. Welcome to the bullpen. And with the third pick in the People's Draft 2022, the Houston Texans select Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback.
Oh,
Great.
Go Texans.
Great pick. Great pick by the Texans. Sauce Gardner, the great corner out of University of Cincinnati. Got length, got speed, got ball skills, got nastiness. I think he is an outstanding pick. And again, Lovie Smith, defensive guy, goes defense with the first pick. Great job by the Texans. I think it's a great pick.
Shout out to the Kilted Texan. That setup is
awesome.
serious.
That was awesome.
I literally seen. I think his first name's Graham with Jeff. I seen that during the season, and I was thinking of like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I got to get this guy on the show. So I typed in Google, biggest Texans fan in Europe, and he was the first guy who came up.
And his name came up.
His name came up, and to be fair play, Graham, been chatting to you for the last couple of days. Fantastic. That toilet's interesting with the team.
I thought he'd have the Cowboys sticker at the bottom of that toilet, not the Giants.
Well, going from the Giants to another team, and we'll see Graham in about 10 picks again. The Jets, Jeff, at number
Jets
4.
with their first of 2 first-round picks,
4
right?
and 10.
Now, if you are the Jets, there's a couple ways you may have to go here. Guy Becton's been a he's shown flashes but has some issues, right? Is he a long-term solution for you? They've done a good job, helping with the offensive line. They need playmakers on offense. They need playmakers on defense, whether that's a rusher or helping the secondary. So this is really interesting to me. There's been a lot of speculation about the Jets taking a defensive player first, then coming back and taking a receiver second in this one. I know you got to score, but you better be careful. You're in a division where you've got to beat the Patriots. You got to beat a loaded up Miami Dolphin team, and you got to beat the Buffalo Bills. So you're going to have to play defense, and you're going to have to score. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shake out here.
Well, how even looking at this pick, first off, I think they're going to go defensive, pick 4, and I think they go wide receiver, pick 10. In my own draft, I have them going with Drake London at 10. That's crazy. I know it's crazy, but I'm picking it. Okay, so we got Kenyon Green UK and the New York Jets fans in the UK making this pick. I think this guy Fraser was on last year. Thank you for your support, Fraser. Here's the pick for the Jets.
Hi guys, Fraser from Gangrene UK here. Just want to start by saying it's an absolute pleasure to be invited back to be involved in this People's Draft. Last year, Gangrene UK were 2 for 2 in first round selection, so hopefully this year we can be correct again. So with that said, in the 2022 People's Draft, pick number 4, the New York Jets select Trayvon Walker, edge, Georgia.
There you go. We talked about freaks. We talked about guys with great testing numbers. Trayvon Walker is exactly that. Did not have a great big senior year, but when you look at the kid, what he can do physically, if they can get him coached up as a pass rusher, he has all the tools to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he is really, really, really talented player.
Just to confirm, Jeff was laughing at the comment from Owen Thomas saying "Boo Jets, boo." He was not laughing at Fraser and his fantastic pick. Thank you very much, Fraser, for the pick. Look, if they bring him in, Saleh has coached that type of defense. If they can bring in Walker to that team, I mean, Saleh needs weapons like that now if he's going to have a chance in this division. Like Miami sacked on offense. The Patriots are an intriguing option. They pick in the early 20s. The Bills, I mean, for me, it's still the Bills division by a country mile, Jeff. Genuinely. And we'll talk
I agree
about
with
in
you.
July and August.
That's why I say you better have guys that can get to the quarterback because, this is a division now with Mac Jones, and I think Tua is going to show what he's made of this coming year, and you got Josh Allen. You better be able to get to the quarterback. Spirit Evangelist says, let's go Jets. He likes to pick. You know what? The only thing about Walker right here is, you look around and he is not the best pass rusher on the board right now. He's the best, combination of traits, physical traits on the board right now. And he is an interesting guy because he can play up and he can play down. So he gives you some position flexibility. Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator of the Jets, has got to love that pick.
Yes, sir. Let's go to the Giants. Pick number 5. Giants get the 5th and the 7th pick. A lot of rumors they're going to shop that 7th pick. We'll talk about that in a bit. It's been 20 minutes into the show, so we're going to put the pick on here. Here's the pick from Kevin. Kevin is a big Giants fan. Looking forward to his pick.
Hi guys, this is Kevin from the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast. You can find us at Big Blue UK IRL or over in the Facebook group New York Giants Fans UK. So, without further ado, with the 5th pick in the 2022 People's Draft, the New York Giants select tackle Evan Neal, Alabama.
Great selection for a team that needs to get the offensive line straightened out. And Evan Neal is a guy that if you look at what he can do physically, the fact that he's got great position flexibility. He played both tackles and he played guard at Alabama. He is a tremendous football player. Big, can bend, physical. I think he's the best offensive tackle in this draft. And if he's there when the Giants pick, that's a fantastic pick by the Giants. And again, I think a real key piece for them to get their thing straightened out on offense. They've got to be able to protect that young quarterback.
I love the pick. I don't think he'll be there at 5. And we'll come back to the Giants in a wee second. We've got the Panthers at 6. And
the Panthers are the Carolina's on the clock.
Carolina's in the clock at 6.
Hey,
and this
I don't know if it's just my computer or am I frozen?
You're okay. Don't worry. As long as you can hear me, I can see you perfectly. I'm not going to lie. My computer froze in the 2nd pick. As long as you can hear everything, it's all good.
The Carolina Panthers on the pick on the clock. Have they got their pick in?
The pick's in, Jeff. You ready for it? Yeah.
Let's have it.
It's a long one. Enjoy.
Hi, my name's Dean Jones, editor of Crave on Fansided. I'm here to pick Carolina Panthers' number 6 overall selection in the 2022 NFL Draft, which is Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. Now, I know the Panthers have got a real need for a quarterback, but I just think reaching for one at number 6 is sort of pushing things a little bit, given the urgency for Matt Rule to get things right now. And there isn't a great deal of belief that any quarterback can come in and start right away, which I believe as well. So although Ekema Corner is on the board here as well, the decision to take Cross, elite pass protector, gets a bit of a bad rep for his run blocking as well, which is unjustified. Obviously, coming out of an air raid scheme, he wasn't tasked with that much. This solves a real problem for the Panthers that they've had since the days of Jordan Gross, really, who retired sort of 8 years ago now. A smart pick allows them to maybe trade for a quarterback later on in the draft, whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo or Baker Mayfield. So the pick, Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State.
I tell you what, I love what Dean Jones is cooking right there for the Carolina Panthers. This kid is an elite pass protector. He's had more opportunity to pass protect than any player in the draft because he played at Mississippi State under Mike Leach in that air raid system. He is behind, and I thought Dean did a great job of evaluating the talent. He is a little bit behind as a run blocker, but he has all the physical tools to be a great run blocker. This is a very, very good football player. And what's really interesting, when you look at the tackles, Icky hasn't gone yet. And I'm talking about Ikwambu, the big offensive tackle from NC State that everybody loves as a mauling run blocker, but does have some issues as a pass blocker. This would not surprise me, frankly, if Cross would go ahead of either Neal or Icky, because Cross can do what you have to be able to do in the National Football League, and that's protect the quarterback.
Let's see what happens. I think they're going to go all in and get a quarterback. I think they go for Malik Willis on Thursday night.
You think they'll take Willis? I would think if they take quarterback to play next year, like a guy to play right now, you got to go pick it, because Malik Willis got a ways to go. But, again, Malik Willis has a much higher ceiling if you look at what he can do physically.
I have something in common with Kenny Pickett. I've got small hands as well, so I can't. Right,
Put
Giants.
Gloves on, buddy.
The Giants, and people, thank you very much to Dean. Owen Thomas said, on the clock, it's round 2 by now. I enjoy Dean's analysis. Thank you very much, Dean. It was good to hear his explanation for the pick. Here's the Giants at number 7.
Giants on the clock again.
You might recognize this person, Jeff.
Well, it's draft week. Yeah, it doesn't feel that long ago. Me and the guys were in LA talking with the Bengals and Rams. We've got a well free agency period. We've reached the draft. I've got pick 7. Big Blue UK have picked Devon there with the 5th pick. I'm going to look at the defensive side of the ball. Pick 7, Jermaine Johnson from Florida State.
Outstanding selection. The kid is a bona fide pass rusher. You talked about Thibodeau as a pass rusher. I think this guy is every good as Thibodeau and a better athlete. I think Thibodeau's a little stiff at times. This kid has all of it. He can come around the edge. He can bear in. He's got great first step. He's extremely combative with his hands, got a great motor. Think about this guy now. He left Georgia to go to Florida State so that he could get more snaps, because at Georgia, with all those other great players, he really didn't get the reps, the snaps that he wanted. And he knew that for him to go higher in the draft, he had to go out and prove himself. The kid did it. This is a great football player and a great selection by the Giants. I love it.
It's interesting because there's been a load of mock drafts, Jeff, where Jermaine Johnson is sitting at 18 to 24. And do you think that's a good pick at 7, or do you think there could be value there for somebody going mid-draft? Or
well, I think what you got to look at is what it's needs and best player available, right? So right now, if you look at the Giants, they needed to know, they knew they had to get better up front, right? On both offense and defense. They did it, I think, extremely well with the 2 players that they've taken. They addressed needs, and they got a player that, unless there's a huge difference between who's on the board right now and a need pick like Johnson, I think this is a great pick by the Giants.
We have got the Atlanta Falcons next. The Atlanta Falcons obviously trading away the quarterback. They've got Marcus Mariota in for the year. Not playing London this year.
You talk about a team with needs, Michael. This team has multiple needs.
Wait, you've got a friend in the Atlanta Falcons UK group who I believe you've been on the show before. Here's their pick.
Hi, this is Mark from ATL Falcons UK. With the 8th pick in the NFL Draft 2022, the Atlanta Falcons select Kyle Hamilton, safety, Notre Dame. Let's go, Dirty Birds!
Kyle Hamilton at 8, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oof.
Now this one is interesting because Kyle Hamilton is, I think, without a doubt, the best safety in the draft. Now, safety has not been a position that's been overvalued, especially a guy like Hamilton, who really is just a true safety. I don't think he has the cover skills to be able to go down and play slot corner, but he is an outstanding football player. You look at some of the big games that Notre Dame played, he played extremely well. So I think this kid is a good football player. He'll certainly help the Falcons. If I'm Eric Harris, my buddy, who's the safety with the Falcons right now, I'd be a little bit worried if they go out and draft this guy. But it does get you a playmaker and a leader, a great tackler, a guy that 6'4", he's a big safety. And sometimes, Mike, when you look at him on tape, he doesn't look particularly fast, but you've got to realize how long his stride is, and he just eats up ground, as a middle safety. So again, I think he's a guy that will help solidify that defense, and Dean Pease will love him.
I go with a wide receiver in this draft to try and benefit Kyle Pitts and Marcus Mariota personally, but I completely understand they've got various different needs. A team that's got many needs because they traded away their franchise quarterback is the Seattle Seahawks at 9, who, as it stands, have Drew Lock playing as quarterback. Here's the pick from Seahawks UK.
Wait. Before we go there, let's talk about it. Is this where you take Malik Willis? Because Malik Willis has very similar skills, a very similar game to the guy that you just let walk out the door and the guy who took you to the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls. So, again, could this be a time where Malik Willis comes off, much like they're trying to fill that Russell Wilson void?
Let's find out. I can't wait to hear your live reaction.
Hi everyone, I'm James. I'm from the Seahawks UK community fan site, and I'm the host of the We Talk Seahawks podcast. Now, I've been given the absolute privilege to come on and represent my Seattle Seahawks in this year's People's Draft. We've got the 9th overall pick.
Here we go.
This is the first time we've been picking in round 1 for 2 years, and it's the first time we've been picking this early in round 1 for quite a while too. So it's an exciting year for Seahawks fans draft-wise. However, we do have a lot of needs: cornerback, edge, offensive tackle, quarterback. But it is Drew Lock season. So, with the 9th overall pick in the 2022 People's Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Ikem Ekwonu, offensive tackle from NC State. A big thank you to all the guys from the Irish NFL show and to Jeff Reinebold for allowing me to come on here and represent my Seattle Seahawks.
I did not pay him to say that. Thank you very much, James. Here, so he's all in, Drew Lock. He's all in on.
Well, you know what? That would be a fascinating discussion in the Seahawks draft room, right? Because Malik Willis is going to play, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, but it ain't going to be next year. Now, this pick addresses a absolute need that the Seahawks have, which is offensive line. Offensive line has been a problem. If you're Russell Wilson, you're probably going, hey, wait a second now. Why didn't you spend first-round draft picks on offensive linemen when I was there? But they get a guy, and this is what I think, a smart pick by James and the Seahawks, because this guy is he is a mauler as a run blocker. I mean, he don't want to block you. He wants to knock you off the ball and hurt you. He is physical, and he's got some holes in him as a pass blocker, but when you watch him on tape, as a run blocker, he's outstanding. So I think that again, if I'm a Seahawks fan and you believe that Drew Lock's a functional starting quarterback, I think it's a great pick.
Something tells me Owen Thomas doesn't like the Jets. I'm gonna leave that there and say a big thanks to Kenyon Green UK, who's got their second pick of the night already at 10. 2 picks in the top 10. Here we go. Has to be wide receiver, Jeff. Has to be.
Hello, my name's James Duffy, admin and member of Gangrene UK Jets fan group. And in the People's Draft, we select Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State University.
Great pick.
Ooh.
Great pick. Best receiver in the draft that's healthy, right? When you talk about and we'll get into the kid at Alabama, but I want to focus on this guy. This guy has speed to burn. He plays extremely strong for his size. He's a great route runner. I think he's another of the really good Ohio State kids that come into the National Football League. This is a great pick because he gives that offense some juice. I know you like Drake London here, but I think it's a great pick because you get more speed.
If they potentially get Travon Walker, who the lads at Gangrene UK, New York Jets UK picked, and then get Garrett Wilson in the one pop, good night.
It's pretty good.
Good luck.
That's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good day, right
It's
there.
like walking out of Vegas, Jeff, with your pockets full.
Yes, I'd say so. That is true.
Like you on Friday morning. Number 11 is the Washington Commanders. I'm never going to be used to saying that. Are you ready for the pick, Jeff?
The Commanders are on the clock, and the pick is?
Are we going to get a quarterback tonight?
We're going to see.
Hi, I'm Paul Mannering from Waxing Lyrical with Mainz and Dutch, and with the 11th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders, that's right, Commanders, will select Drake London, wide receiver, USC. As always,
there you go.
Beat Dallas.
Ooh.
There you go. Drake London, the big 6'5", 220 receiver, great red zone target, not a great runner, and he's coming off of an injury, so he didn't run at the combine, didn't run at his pro day. But when you put the tape on, highly competitive, good after the catch, and big. And I mean big inside. Great combination, him and Terry McLaurin. This is big news for Commanders fans.
We haven't had a quarterback pick yet, and we're going to pick 12 here.
Are you getting nervous? Huh? Are you getting nervous? You know what? Neil, I swear to God, when I talked to Neil about this, Bucky, our friend Bucky Brooks, in his last mock, didn't even have a quarterback going in the first round. This is probably the way it should go. Because you look at first round success with quarterbacks, and they all get overdrafted. But if there's not a Joe Burrow in this class, so at pick 12, I think this draft has gone extremely well. I think the GMs that we've hired for all these clubs are doing a great job.
Pick 12 is the Minnesota Vikings, who have various needs. A few needs. They need a cornerback. Let's see who they're going to pick. This is the Minnesota Vikings. You can
Gotta go DB.
Let's see what's going to happen. A few people saying Trent McDuffie time in the comments. Here we go. I love how we can react to this live.
Hi, this is Rich with the UK and Ireland Minnesota Vikings fan club, and with the 12th pick of the 2022 People's Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, LSU.
Great selection. A lot of stuff been talked about with this kid. If you go back to his freshman year at LSU, he'd have gone in the first round as a freshman. He did not play as well the last couple of years. He had a Liz Frank surgery. He was hurt his entire year last year, and a lot of people really, really were down on him. Said he played disinterested. The UCLA tape where he's playing, and people didn't know at that time how hurt he was, but he was out there trying to play. He really, really, really hurt his stock. But this kid, when he's healthy and he's tuned in, he is an outstanding cover guy.
5-star talent, potential unreal. If you get him at 12, take him and run. Let's see what happens. John Bradley saying, Fred Flunk is saying 2 quarterbacks already. Madness. John Bradley saying, I take Stingley over Sauce Gardner. And Barely
there's some people that say the same thing, right? That, when you look at Stingley and you go back and look at the practice tape, and I found some old practice tape at LSU, when he's out there with Jamar Chase as a young kid, he's hawking Jamar Chase all over the field. If he's healthy and he's wired in, then I think this kid could be as good as anybody in the draft. The only question that you have with Gardner is the level of play in the All-American Conference that he played in, as opposed to the SEC, where you're seeing great players every week. So, again, each of them's an outstanding pick, and I think the run on corners could start now, because this is what happens when you lose a couple, and if you got a cornerback need, there's only a few out there.
Let's watch the Texans pick together. We've got Graham again in the show here at the bottom of the screen. Here we go, Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham Henderson, aka the Kilted Texan. Welcome back to the bullpen. And with the 13th pick of the 2022 People's Draft, the Houston Texans select Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama.
Now, Jeff,
Texans.
as an Irishman, Jeff, I love his name. You know, like Jameson or Jameson. Happy days, you know. Happy days.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you are a Texans fan, this kid's coming off of an ACL. He is lightning fast, maybe the fastest receiver in the draft before he got hurt. Now, again, the thing that the doctors, I'm sure, and the Kilted Texan probably got the insider information, what the doctors had to say about this kid's surgery, but he's already said he's ahead of schedule. If he is ahead of schedule, that means you'll get him, you know, maybe even as early as opening week. And if he manages that injury and the load on that injury, this guy can be a huge, huge benefit to the Texans, who struggled last year to score points. 32nd in the league in total offense.
This is the guy that can make 60, 70, 80-yard plays look easy on a good day. So let's see what happens if they get him. And look, someone's going to take him in the first round, so I can't wait to see how he's going to land up in whatever team he's at. Chargers would be great with him and Justin Herbert. Thank you very much to Graham. Put a lot of time into those two videos. Really appreciate it.
Great job on the bullpen too, man. That is all-time classic.
We're now going to pick 14. Still no quarterback, and I don't think the Ravens are going to pick a quarterback here. Here is Benjamin, or Ben, as he's better known.
Well, let's talk about the Ravens a little bit before we go to the pick.
Yes, sir.
When you look at the Ravens, do you take a linebacker? There hasn't been a linebacker come off yet, right?
They have to take one, surely.
Well, they need one, and you know you've got a guy at Utah, that is, in my opinion, we talked about Hutchinson being a clean pick. I really, really, really love the kid at Utah. So let's see what they do.
Jordan Davis is still there, Jeff. There's a few comments in there. Let's see what happens. Here is Ben from Ravens UK, and also your friend from Touchdown Trips. Who's he going to pick?
Hi, this is Ben from the UK Ravens and Touchdown Trips. Welcome to sunny York.
This is great camera work here, Jeff.
Pick in this 2022 People's Draft.
Hi.
And with the 14th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Jordan Davis, defensive line, Georgia Bulldogs.
They went for a D lineman. Again, makes sense. Smart pick, great athlete, huge and can run. Incredible in the run game. Absolutely just a guy that has to suck up blockers. This will, even though they don't take a linebacker here, whoever's playing behind them will be much better, because this is an outstanding young player. And I like it because you're going to get a chance to pair him with Calais Campbell. I'd move this kid's locker right next to Calais Campbell, because I think that this kid has a chance to be, you know, it's hard to say Hall of Famer, but I'm telling you, he's got Hall of Fame type skills, and Calais Campbell will be a great mentor for this kid.
Baltimore's got a blitz-heavy scheme. Davis is a perfect fit in the system. If he's picked there, unreal. Right, Eagles. Who's the biggest Eagles fan in the UK? Like,
all right,
who are we
now, wait a
to
second. Let's talk about this with the Eagles. What is the one thing the Eagles never take in the first round?
Wide receiver.
Linebacker. They never.
I'm joking. I mean, they picked too many wide receivers. I mean, let's be honest here.
Well, and you got a need at linebacker. You just lost, you know, your leading tackler for the last 2 years. Okay, so
it's a rebound.
This is a team they've got to take a linebacker, and the best one in the draft is still on the board.
Well, you got 15, you got 19. Your man Alex Singleton's left. He's with Denver as well. Big revamp in this Eagles team on both sides of the ball, especially in defense. Let's see who they're going to pick. Here is the pick at 15.
Hi there, this is Neil Dutton of the Waxing Lyrical Mains and Ducks podcast, making the selection for the Philadelphia Eagles at 15. Now, you have to go all the way back to 2002 for the last time the Eagles selected a cornerback in the first round of the NFL draft. 2002 is a pretty long time ago. That's when a young Jeff Reinebold was special teams coordinator for the Amsterdam Admirals in NFL Europe. But anyway, the wait is over, because now, with their first pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Eagles select Andrew Booth, cornerback.
Okay, all right. Now we said it was going to happen, right? Because now you've lost the 3 best corners early in this draft. This is exactly, Mike, when you watch how the game has changed, right? If you don't have edge rushers and you don't have guys that can cover, you don't have a chance. And Booth is a outstanding player. He has great coverage skills. I think this is a smart choice. They need help in the secondary. Now, you want to shock the world, Philadelphia Eagles? Come back and take a linebacker with your next pick.
I like the pick. I also liked how Neil said with the first pick for the Eagles, as if the Eagles are the first pick, Interesting pick. Am I right in thinking Devon Lloyd's still there? Yeah, he's still there.
Yep.
Trent McDuffie's still there?
Yep.
Oof.
There's good. That's what we said. This is a deep draft. There's good football players still in the draft. If Devon Lloyd slides this far, it's going to be a story, right? But again, when you talk about positions of value, linebacker, off the ball linebacker is not particularly a position that is glorified right now in the way the game's played, right? Now, I think that kid is as good as there is, in the draft, certainly in the draft, and if you look at him just as a football player, he's one of the 15 best players out there. But he's playing a position where if you don't need one and you don't need his, you feel like, we can get a guy to play there, which is what they did with Alex Singleton. That's why they let him walk. He let him in tackle. He was the most productive linebacker per snap all year last year. The most productive in the National Football League. And they let him walk because they don't value the position. So it'll be interesting to see how they do when they get their second chance.
It's crazy, isn't it? Well, the Saints are next. Saints have got picks at 16 and 18. We've got our friends from NFL Scotland here.
All right.
Scotland.
Hi there, this is Neil Dutton of the Waxing Lyrical Main.
Wow. Well, it took 16 picks to put the wrong thing up. Hold on. We're getting there. So the Saints are 16. Here's the Saints. I'm having a nightmare.
Hello, I'm Paul Mitchell, a member of the NFL Scotland podcast team. It's good to be with you. I'm a big New Orleans Saints fan, and with the 16th pick in the draft, I select wide receiver from The Ohio State University, Chris Olave.
There's still no quarterback taken here. What's going on, Jeff?
Still no quarterback, but again, talk about a team that needs speed, needs a threat outside, right? And this has been one that's been linked. I think I've probably seen this a dozen times where people have podcasted or mock draft Olave to the Saints. It makes a whole bunch of sense. He is a big-time playmaker, a vertical threat, knocked off an incredible time at the combine. Again, I think that he is as good a young prospect as there is, and certainly a great selection for the Saints who need help at wideout.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Saints in a minute. We got the Chargers at 17. I'm going to put it on because Lee has given a lovely
on the clock.
Detailed description for the Chargers. Here is Lee Wakefield from Full 10 Yards College and various other outlets for the Chargers. Up and coming Chargers team in the AFC West. Oh, who are they going to pick, Jeff?
Guys, how is it going? We are back once again. It's Lee Wakefield here, picking the 17th pick overall in your mock draft for my Los Angeles Chargers. And with that pick, I'm going to go ahead and select Zion Johnson, offensive guard from Boston College. We are looking to fortify the offensive line once again, just after I picked for Rashawn Slater last year. And we are going to fortify the offensive line. We cannot take one of these tackles. Now that all the top three have gone, I'm not liking the option at all. So we're going to look to fortify the options in a different way, and we're going to go ahead and take Zion Johnson because, to me, he's a plug-and-play player. Over at left guard, we can't afford to take a reach on the right tackle.
Zion Johnson out of Boston College, outstanding young player.
I like it.
I think it's a good pick too. And he made a point. If you put Zion Johnson and Rashawn Slater on the same side, you can forget about that side for about the next 8 years, right? Now, they're also the other thing that I thought was really smart by what he talked about right there was the tackles. There are more good tackles in this draft than there are good guards. So there's a chance that they could get a tackle that can come in and be a serviceable starter, in a later round with a trade or whatever. But again, I think it's a good pick by those Chargers because they got to make sure you keep that young quarterback on his feet.
We're rolling through the first round here. Our next pick, we're going back to Mr. Dutton again for the Eagles. Let's see who the Eagles can pick now. Maybe a wide receiver.
Wait, before we go, who are you calling now? Because
Trent McDuffie hasn't been picked. I actually find that incredible. Like, this is the guy that would really, really suit the system in Philadelphia, right? So I'm presuming Neil, in his infinite wisdom, is going to pick Trent McDuffie. Now Jeff doesn't know the picks, lads and ladies. I have them on a Google sheet. I haven't looked at them since I edited these videos, so I can't even remember his 32 picks. Like, here's tell you what, we'll watch Neil's pick together. Here we go. Who do you think, Jeff?
Hello, I'm Paul Mitchell from the NFL Scotland podcast.
I think.
What
do I think?
Hold on. It's the Saints next. It's the Saints and the Eagles. My bad. So here's Paul with the Saints. Yeah.
The New Orleans Saints have another picking team.
Quarterback now.
And with that pick, we picked Trevor Penning, offensive tackle, Northern Iowa.
There's a guy that's really went up in the draft, Jeff. Trevor Penning.
You know what? I this is how I feel about this kid. When I watched him at the Senior Bowl, and I watched the position drills real close, right? Particular pass protection, because I thought maybe when he gets in there with some of those alpha males, because the kid played at Northern Iowa, right? He has not played a great level of competition as a college player, but when you watched him at the Senior Bowl, he was just as nasty, just as basically arrogant. I use that term as a positive, right? It was like it didn't matter who he was playing against. He was really a physical player. Now, it's going to be interesting to see when this kid gets to camp, when he starts pushing and shoving like, the late stuff and all that, how the veterans are going to react to it. But this is a guy that brings, you want nastiness on your offensive line? This guy got a load of it.
Really good guy. Spoke to him a couple of months ago. Wish him all the very, very best. I think he might go 25-26, but an interesting pick. It is the Eagles' turn, okay? So I can't believe that happened.
Eagles are on the clock.
Hi folks, Neil Dutton again with another Philadelphia Eagles first round selection in 2022. Now, if you thought the Eagles had gone a long time since they drafted a cornerback in the first round, you've got an even longer way to go back for the last time they drafted a linebacker in the NFL draft. It was in 1979 when Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States.
This is great content here, man.
And another drought that comes to an end, as with their second first-round selection, the 19th overall, the Philadelphia Eagles select linebacker Devon Lloyd.
Unbelievable, great day for the Eagles right now. Howie Rossman can go back to his suite and toast with a big bottle of champagne, because if you get those two players in the first round, I'm telling you, Eagles fans have really, really upgraded their football team. Do I think they'll do it? No, but it's a great selection.
I think they can do it. I think it's going to be interesting if they shop them picks. But Jeff, we're 19 picks in, and we haven't had a quarterback. The Steelers are on the clock. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Kenny Pickett. You think Kenny Pickett? He's a Pitt kid. All right. He's a Pitt kid. Now, there's been a lot of talk about how much
he's had one good season.
But now again, when you say that, right, take a look at some of the things. Look at the tape, right? I think that kid's been undersold in a lot of ways, because you watch some of the things he can do. He's a much better athlete than people think he is. And, throwing off the bad foot platforms and all that stuff, he did it numerous times at Pitt. What's interesting, though, is Mike Tomlin. How big a fan is Mike Tomlin of Malik? Because he was at Malik Willis's pro day, took him to dinner, yada, 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 all that stuff. This is the last first-round pick Kevin Colbert will make as a Pittsburgh Steelers GM. So this is his legacy pick. Let's see who they go with.
Here we go.
Hi, this is Stuart Love, NFL here, and for the 2022 People's Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kenny Pickett.
Oh,
there he is.
Pittsburgh Panthers. Go Steelers.
Great call.
There he is.
Love bringing us the first quarterback off the board.
20 picks for a quarterback.
20 picks to go. That, you know what? And that shows you right here. That shows you how much our selection committee knows about picking guys. I mean, the committee of people that are making these picks, these are good picks. And if Pickett is there, the Steelers would be overjoyed to take him with the first pick. I think that's a great selection for the Steelers. Great job by Love.
If you bring in Pickett, do you set him for a year, yeah, and let him get to know the system?
I let him compete. Again, now he's going to have to beat out a veteran, but I'd let him compete. And if he's better, play him. But again, it's a tough offensive line to go to stick a rookie behind, because he's going to get banged around a little bit. But his athleticism, I think, would help. That's one of the arguments people have made for Malik Willis. Behind that offensive line, you better have a guy that's an athlete, because he's going to have to, run to save himself a little bit.
Right, we've got 30 minutes to get through about 12 picks. We're going to do it. We're going to get it done. 21 is the New England Patriots. Mac Jones, big season, has to be a wide receiver, surely. Here's the pick. I know this person.
So, Jeff, in the People's Draft, the New England Patriots, first of all, are probably cursing the Philadelphia Eagles, selecting Devon Lloyd at pick number 19. They might consider going cornerback. They could look at wide receiver, but with Jameson Williams off the board and the Devonta Parker trade, that's probably less likely. I think, really, Bill Belichick went to the University of Georgia Pro Day, and just like the last time he had the 21st pick in the draft back in 2014 when they took Chandler Jones, he's going to look to upgrade the youth and the explosiveness in his front seven. After all, look how their last two games against Buffalo went last year. So, with the 21st pick in the People's Draft,
come on, Mark,
the New England Patriots select Key Walker, linebacker from the University of Georgia.
Okay.
He wasn't happy those picks were gone. I can tell you exclusively, I sent him the picks and he was disgusted the Eagles got those players in the draft.
Well, you know what? And I think he's right on a lot of what he said, because, Key Walker's not the best linebacker on the board right now, right? In my opinion. But he's the one that's most like what the Patriots want. They like big linebackers. And Walker's teammate, who's probably a better player right now, a more explosive player, is not that. He's a smaller guy. So Walker fits the Patriot profile at linebacker. This is where I could have seen the Patriots shocking everybody and going with a kid out of Wisconsin named Chenal. That's a big, physical inside linebacker and really, really, really an impactful player and a real Patriot kind of guy. But again, I really think the Patriots are going to upgrade that front seven. I agree with Mark. This is a little bit high for this kid. But again, the Patriots being the Patriots, they're not afraid to, think outside the box.
Big season for Mac Jones after that rookie season. Big expectations in New England and across.
They got to get him. They got to get him some. They got to get him some help. They got to get.
Now, Jeff. Now, big expectations. Tom Brady could do it with certain players. So let's see what happens. I'm really not biased at all about what I'm saying. Green Bay Packers have got the 22nd pick and the 28th pick, and it's a bit like the Eagles picking the quarterback or picking the linebacker. Will they pick a wide receiver? We've got the UK Packers on to give their pick, Jeff, and we'll react to it in a wee second.
They gotta go.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, at the NFL here from UK Packers, and we've consulted our 334-page draft guide written by the one and only Peter Jones, and with the 22nd pick of the NFL draft, the UK Packers select wide receiver Treylon Burks.
There you go. Treylon Burks is a big, physical, scouts love to do what they call comps, right? Comparisons. This guy's like this guy. the guy that I would comp him is Deebo Samuel, because this kid has lined up and played at Arkansas just about every position on offense. He's been a Wildcat quarterback. He's been in the backfield. He's been a wideout. He's been in the slot. He's probably a little bit behind in his development because of that, because he really hasn't just honed in on one spot. But he's big. He's physical. He's good after the catch. And certainly they've got to make sure that they get some help at wideout. That would not have been my selection there. I think there's still other wideouts that are better than this guy.
Who was your pick?
You know, the guy I like is the Penn State kid that's got the great quickness. I mean, but you know, when you look at it, this is the receiver group is a group where there's a lot of depth. There's a kid out of North Dakota State that, you know, again, you talk about Drake London. He's got Drake London's size.
Christian Watson.
Yeah, Christian Watson. He's got Drake London's size, but he's much faster. He's a sub 4.4 guy, right? Now, he didn't play a great level of competition. He's got to grow a little bit, but, you know, stick him in that Packers system, and I think you got something.
Okay, so we have got one pick from the Packers. They're going to go 28 in a bit. Cardinals, Jeff, the team that go on a good run at the start of the season and need to get that consistency throughout the season. Let's see who they're going to pick.
Here's another team that needs interior defensive line help and needs receiver help. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys go with.
Delighted to welcome back our friends from the British Bird Gang. Good lads.
This is Tom from British Bird Gang, back once again to make a better selection than
Is
General
he
Manager Steve
in the
Keim.
forest for the Birds?
With the 23rd pick in the 2022 People's Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select the Greek freak George Karlaftis, edge from Purdue. Go Cards.
No, I mean that in a very loving way. Like, you could hear a bird in the background. I think he done that on purpose, genuinely. So the Greek god's gone.
Now, too high. Great motor. I just don't know if the skills translate. He's not Ryan Kerrigan, who's everybody wants to make the comp with Kerrigan because he's a Purdue guy and an edge guy and all that stuff. I don't see him as Kerrigan. He's got the same kind of motor Kerrigan does. I think Kerrigan's a better player. It'll be interesting to see how this kid develops. He lived in Greece till he was 13 years old. So he, again, young to the game, new to the game, great effort kid, solid guy. But to me, again, they're better players right now at this spot at interior defensive line, where I think Arizona needs more help.
Right, we're going to go straight to America's team. We got a special guest, Jeff, for you. The Dallas
Here we
Cowboys
go.
at 24. Here's your friend.
Given Jerry Jones has already said that he is minded to trade up in the first round of this year's NFL draft, if he wants a player like the Arkansas wide receiver Treylon Burks or the guard from Boston College Zion Johnson, that is exactly what he's going to have to do if it pans out as this draft is doing. And also, we know the Dallas Cowboys need to strengthen that offensive line. So, with the 24th overall pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Linderbaum, center. Iowa.
Oh, there you go.
That might give a bit of protection.
There you go now. I'm telling you, great call, Richard Graves. You better let Jerry Jones know you're available to make selections for this coming week. Because if Linderbaum is there, you got to take him. He is an absolute man. He is a really unique player in that he can finesse and he can brawl both. And those are rare guys. Great physical skill set for a center. Comes out of an Iowa program that builds offensive linemen. I think that is a really, really good pick by Richard Graves for the Dallas Cowboys.
Big up to Richard Graves. Good man, Richard. The AFC East team, the Bills, make me want to shout, are up next. I would say wide receiver, Jeff. Yeah,
I think so, because again, they've done an awful lot. Maybe a defensive player, but this is a situation now where if I think you're the Bengals, you can probably go best player on the board, whoever you've got rated highest.
let's see who Buffalo we're going to pick at 25.
This is Matt from the UK Bills. You can find us at UK_Bills on Twitter. With the 25th pick of the People's Draft, the UK Bills select Daxon Hill, safety out of Michigan. Let's go Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
that's an interesting one.
Shocker. Well, and I'm going to say it's a shocker, not because Daxon Hill can't play, because Daxon Hill is very good, and there are some people who like Daxon Hill better than Hamilton. But what's surprising to me is that if there is an area of need for the Bills, it would be running back. And right now, there has not been a running back come off the board. So whoever they have rated as their highest running back, whether it's the kid from Iowa State or whomever, those guys are still on the board. I'm a little surprised that they would go safety because, they've got a pretty fair safety combination back there. The one thing about Hill can go down and play slot corner, I think, in the league. That's a huge advantage. To me, their bigger defensive back need would be another corner on the other side of Tre'Davious White. But, again, that's not the way that our Bills fans saw it.
Well, the next pick is the Tennessee Titans. And to make the pick tonight, we've got the Sky Sports NFL producer, Alex Mason, obviously a good friend of Jeff's. He was on the show last week. Alex hasn't got us a video, but he has told us the player. Jeff, do you want to guess Alex's selection before I put it up on the screen?
I would say right now, he was last week when we talked to him on the show, he was all excited about a receiver. But, again, most of the receivers, they've been run on receivers. So let's hear what he has to say.
Alex is picking Javen Dawson. Wide receiver.
There you go. Javen Dawson. Now, again, not a big guy, but boy, is he electric. He is quick and, again, great hands. He's a great run after catch guy. Doesn't really fit the Titans mold of big wide receivers, but he does add some juice to that offense. And he's going to say, again, for every receiver that plays at Tennessee, you got to build an advantage as long as King Henry's there, that you're going to see a lot of single coverage.
We've got some really interesting picks, the last few picks of the round. We got the Bucs up next. We got the Packers, the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Lions at 32. But and obviously the Los Angeles Rams don't have a pick until 2105 or something. So we'll see what's going on there. The Bucs, always good fun. Bucs UK. I think Phil is coming on here in his garden. Jeff, enjoy his pick.
All right,
here we go.
On the 27th pick of the Jeff Reinebold NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Kenyon Green, offensive line, Texas A&M.
Jeff, I like it. The Jeff Reinebold NFL Draft. Kenyon Green.
This is the people's draft. It ain't my draft, but I'll tell you what, Kenyon Green, interesting pick because jury's out on this guy. Some really, really good tape and some not so great tape. But it does address a need area for Tampa Bay. And, again, I think it's a guy that deserves to go this high, but it is a little bit of a surprise to me.
I'm going to give you an exclusive now, and thank you very much to Phil. I was recording a draft preview with the Irish lads last night. Brian O'Leary, who done the Giants pick, his shocker is the Packers drafting 2 wide receivers. Packers have 22nd, 28th picks. Could you see that happening?
I think, yeah, I could. I think it just depends on how it goes. I mean, you look at this and you say, when we get to Vegas and they start picking on round one night, then because the first round is the one that really goes and runs, right? If receivers start coming off the board, everybody's going to start grabbing them. Same thing true with all those edge guys. If a couple edge guys go early, half the teams in the first round have a need for an edge rusher. So it's going to, how it falls is going to really just be dependent on what starts to go. But I could see the Packers, and I think it would be smart for the Packers to take 2 wide receivers.
Because they need, if they had 2 good young wide receivers, they could really help Aaron Rodgers for that period of time of his new contract without having to pay him a big wage as well. Here's Steve back again. I wonder if he's going to push the draft review. I must free draft guide. I'm going to read it after this.
That's
Here
it.
he
These guys
UK and Irish
great.
Packers back on the clock here, and at number 28, the UK and Irish Packers select safety out of Georgia, Lewis Seen.
Ooh,
I
going
did
with
not mean to
Lewis
talk over you,
Seen.
Jeff. Apologies. Lewis Seen.
Great player. Really, really aggressive. He's a in the alley attacker. He is a great tackler. Obviously, again, an area where the Packers can stand and upgrade. I think they're good at corner, but I think they can improve at safety. And this is a guy that, again, is going to be a definite impact guy. I would go on wide receiver here if I was the Packers, but again, Lewis Seen, good football player.
A lot of hatred for the Packers in the comments. I
Yes,
don't know.
there is.
Here, big ups to Steve and the UK Packers for sending this
Yeah,
video.
great
4K
job.
as
Great.
well. Really appreciate it, Steve. Really, believe me, Jeff, it helps. And Jeff, I know you're going to edit this next year and get all the picks. And I can't believe we're in pick 29. Friend of the show, I want to say, is doing pick 29. The Kansas City Chiefs. Do you want to guess who's coming on here?
No, I can't guess.
You can't guess.
I can't guess. Kansas City
This
Chiefs.
man was on his holidays and he was on his vacation, and he said he's gonna sit down and do this just for you, Jeff. So
that's awesome.
Here's the Chiefs at 29.
With the 29th pick in the 2022 People's Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Devonta Wyatt, defensive tackle, Georgia.
Brett Chief.
Right.
There he is.
Brett Chief goes with Devonta Wyatt, another one of those outstanding interior people from Georgia. Big part of that national championship team. Great motor. Pair him inside with Chris Jones, and you have got vertical push, which everybody is trying to find right now. And again, in a division where you're facing good quarterbacks every single week.
Now, they've got the 29th and 30th pick. Could you see them using both those selections or trading down? Or, after getting him, who would you pick at 30, Jeff?
Well, I think the thing that's interesting is who's left on the board now, right? So if you're looking at your board and there's a guy that you have rated this high, I would say, yeah. If not, then I'd try and trade out and get multiple picks, because you're looking at, there's a lot of still really good football players that are going to go in round 2 or round 3. So if you got a guy that you like here, right, and you've got him as a definite first round grade, take him. But if best player on the board is just kind of a guy that you're not really in love with, and you see depth in those second and third rounds, I'd go for more picks here if I could trade back out, because there are teams that will want to trade into the first round. And here's why: that gives you that 5th-year exemption for a first round player, right? So they're on that rookie contract a little bit longer, and that really helps you with the salary cap.
So we got the Chiefs coming up at 30. Only one quarterback taken in this draft so far. So Malik, Willis, all those guys haven't been taken yet. Here's who Brett Chief is picking at numero 30.
With the 30th pick in the 2022
Look at that Lombardi
People's
behind
Draft,
him.
the Kansas City Chiefs select George Pickens, wide receiver, Georgia Bulldogs.
That's some
Again,
setup behind
British
him.
Bulldog spirit.
Two Georgia
that is
Bulldogs.
pretty nice. You know what? Again, fits, right? They love Georgia players, right? And I think he brings speed, he brings big playability, brings attitude, he brings winning to the Chiefs. The Chiefs need that at that position. I think it's a great selection. It's interesting, Mike, isn't it, that, like you say, there has only been one quarterback taken so far in the draft. And, that's a shocker for a lot of people, because right now, if our draft is the way it goes on draft night, think about this. Matt Carroll and Malik Willis are in that draft room right now doing an Aaron Rodgers imitation.
Look, we've got 2 picks left. We've got the Bengals and the Lions. So, I mean, we can't see the Lions pick, or we can't see the Bengals picking one. We got our friend Jamie, Jeff from Bengals UK. who's going to make us.
Let's hear what they have to do. This is interesting to me because, this is not a place that the Bengals have picked very much, which is the bottom of the first round. You get high in the first round.
Think a trade down?
Yeah, I would. Again, same deal. And, because, again, this is a team, the Bengals, you look at them, they're going to get help for that football team in the second and third round. I don't know. They don't need a quarterback. So that, if one of the quarterback desperate teams would like to trade up and take a flyer here on either Willis or Corral, I think it would make sense.
Here is Jamie's selection for Bengals UK.
Hello, I'm Jamie at Trekhartbeaster from Bengals UK at Houday_UK, and with the 31st pick of the 2022.
Hold on, Jeff. Can I get a Houday? No, Houday.
You got a Houday all day.
Yeah, here we go.
NFL UK fans draft. Your AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals select Kyler Gordon, defensive back, Washington.
Ooh,
good young player. Good young player. Highly competitive. Loves to play press. That is an area of need. I mean, we saw Eli Apple is just too up and down. Again, this is a young kid that plays extremely aggressively in the secondary. He's good with his hands. Like I say, he loves to play up man. One of two Washington guys who both had first round grades in the secondary. I think this is a really, really good selection by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Big shout out to Bengals UK. I'm big shout out to obviously everyone on tonight. Bengals UK, brilliant during the Super Bowl with yourself, Jeff, on your show and stuff, and really appreciate it coming on again tonight. One more pick. I can't believe it's. We're not doing the second round, so we got one more pick here. The Lions. The Lions had the second pick of the draft, and they went with Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm nearly certain they went with him at 2. Who are you going to go with?
You know what? Let's spend a little time on this one, because now this is a team that needs a quarterback, right? And you figure that you've helped yourself with Thibodeau, right? You've got you've got some pieces in place on the offensive line. They could certainly, I think, use more playmakers on offense, and defensively, again, you just got to go with, in my mind, the best player on the board right now. And whoever that is, maybe Malik Willis, right? And you say,
Kobe Dean, maybe?
Well, yeah, that's another guy that we haven't. That would shock me if Nakobe Dean is still off, hasn't been selected at this point. When we've, his teammate went, we've seen, I think he would be the third linebacker off the board. He's obviously a great kid. Now, Nakobe Dean fits, I think, Dan Campbell, right? Highly intelligent, very competitive, great motor. He's a bite the kneecaps kind of guy. But, again, that quarterback thing is out there now. You could take a flyer here on Willis because you let him sit and learn behind Goff and learn to be a professional, because it's a kid coming out of Liberty University. Or you take Corral, and I like Corral better personally, right?
One of them is not going to be selected in the first round of your people's draft, Jeff. And one guy that hasn't been selected either, just before we put this up yet, is that Austrian guy, Bernard Reiman, the OT for Central Michigan. Obviously, really in his corner. And David Ajabo, who obviously is injured.
That's what I'm saying. This is why, to me, you can trade back with this pick, right? Trade out of the first round and get 2 twos.
Get into Friday and
get another second and get another second and get another third and maybe a seventh, right? Something like that, because you got an opportunity that you have multiple needs if you're Detroit, like multiple needs. So multiple picks really help you.
Well, here we go. This is the last pick of the people's draft. I'm about to cry here. It's been a big night. Here is Roar the Lions UK, a different guy this time. Looking forward to this pick. Here we go, Jeff. You excited?
Hi, Tom Wilkinson here from the Roar of the Lions UK podcast. With the way this draft has fallen, there is one guy staring us straight in the face. So with the 32nd pick, the Detroit Lions select Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty.
There he goes. And again, makes sense, right? Because he has a big upside. He has the traits and characteristics, the tools that you need to be successful in the National Football League. He's not ready yet, in my opinion. But he doesn't have to be. Now he can go to Detroit. He can sit. He can learn from Goff. He can learn. Mark Brunell, the quarterback coach, can work with him all off season. I think this would make sense. But again, if it were me, I would have traded the pick out of the first round and got multiple picks, because we've got a football team that has multiple needs.
Maybe next year, whenever you're producing this, we'll do trades.
We'll allow them to trade.
I actually think if we brought trades to this, it'd be a bit mad. Just very quickly to recap the top 10 picks. Jaguars went with Aiden Hutchinson at 1. Lions went with Kevin Thibodeau at 2. Sauce Gardner, the Texans, at 3. Javon Walker, Jets at 4. Evan Neal, the Giants at 5. Charles Cross is a Panther at 6. Jermaine Johnson, the second, is a Giant at 7. Cal Hamilton at 8. Ikea Mekwonu, the Seahawks at 9. And Garrett Wilson to the Jets at 10. A couple of big ones to stand out, folks. The Eagles go with Andrew Booth, and also a linebacker as well. And also, the first quarterback wasn't taken until 20, and that was Kenny Pickett. And the next quarterback taken at 32 in the People's Draft 2022. Jeff, I got to run, but can I just say right now, enjoy Vegas. Bring us back a bar of rock, as we say here. Bring us back a little memento. Take good care of Neil and Alex and everyone over there. It's going to be good fun. You're on Thursday night at 9:00 for anyone who wants to watch it at UK and Ireland time. And Sky Sports are live with the draft. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, and we will do probably some live hits for you and for us and for anybody that wants them from Vegas, because again, it's all about making it available.
When you say hits, you mean 11 black, 13 black, 7 red? Yeah, is that... Late night coffee with Coach? Yeah,
that's it, baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, here, obviously enjoy it. I think you guys are going to be in the green room and stuff, so it's going to be really good content, and enjoy it.
It'll be great. It'll be great stuff. We'll be in the green room. We'll be doing player interviews. We'll be doing just interviews we pick up along. It's going to be a madhouse in Vegas, so there'll be all kinds of people there. But I got to say, Mike, again, this is a big task to put this show together, and you did an amazing job with it. Again, I appreciate you, and again, hope all the fans appreciate just how good you do. And John Bradley loved it. He loved the show. He's a first-time viewer. Spread the word, John. Come back. See us every week.
Thank you, Jeff, for your kind comments. Thanks to everyone for coming on. 32 people, around 32 people, some people, same picks. I want to very quickly give a big shout out, and we'll give him a proper shout out next week, maybe if he comes on and reviews the draft. Oliver Hodgkinson, Pro Football Network. Brilliant crack, brilliant fun over the last few weeks, Jeff, talking through different picks. I know it's his Christmas this week, and he's like Santa. He's a very busy man, but obviously fantastic few weeks. He's really lived up to the old man Spencer's billing from last year.
Yeah, he is our draft guru, and again, it's a very busy time for him. But we'll get him back to recap the draft and the picks that he thought were surprises and the picks that he thought were locks, and we'll get it all back next week. David Crook, we'll talk to you next week. Safe travels. Again, I appreciate that. We'll see you, Michael. Thank you for again wishing us well, and again, thank you again for paying attention. For everybody that watched the show, and for everybody that's going to watch the show in the times we rebroadcast it right up to the draft, thank you very much for being a part of the second annual draft.
For Jeff going to Vegas, I put the big dance music on. Jeff, see you next week. Enjoy the draft.